expect to be seeing this hat much longer. The future of the past is coming.
Those of you who have been following me for a while now know that I love super moves and finishers. And for those of you who are joining me for the first time, I'll tell you right now, I love super moves and finishers. They can be powerful, awe-inspiring, and flashy as hell. Some of my favorite come in the form of the final smashes that were introduced in Super Smash Bros. Brawl and have been a mainstay of the series ever since. So, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is out, and I've been wanting to talk about this game. But since I'm not Rabbid Luigi, I only have time to make one list a month, so how about we talk about Final Smashes, especially since now we have a meter for them. What I look for in a Final Smash is how well it suits the character and how cool it looks. I'm not really concerned with damage for this list since I fully admit to being a filthy casual. And a heads up, I don't know for sure what Joker's Final Smash is as of the time I'm writing this, so he's out of the running. Okay, enough stalling, let's get in the spirit. It's game time! Let's start off this list with my main from 4. Shulk was all about tactics, what with managing his Monado arts and their various stats. Just like how he was in Xenoblade Chronicles, where Monado Boy and his talent arts could give the party the protection and buffs they needed to win. His final smash, however, is all about laying the beat down.
Time for a chain attack!
Chain attack starts with an AoE trigger, and if it hits, Shulk calls in Dunban and Ricky to trash the opponent with an outdated Sonic Heroes reference, ending with Shulk delivering one last powerful slash that sends the opponent flying. This is in reference to the namesake mechanic in Xenoblade Chronicles, which could be a huge help in taking down the more powerful enemies in the game. It really does feel like how a chain attack would play out in real time. Heck, Ultimate makes the move even better by adding Fiora. Even though you could only have 3 members in your active party in Xenoblade in the first place.
Hey, I never said the reference had to be perfect.
Remember when I thought that a Castlevania character might not get into Smash? That was at a time when Castlevania's only relevance was the Netflix cartoon. Go watch that, by the way. Little did I know that we were about to get a bombshell for Smash Ultimate. Simon making the roster, Richter as an Echo, Dracula as a boss, Dracula's castle as a stage, Alucard as an assist trophy, over 30 tracks including original tracks and remixes. All those spirits. And for a final smash, while we didn't get a variation of Simon's hyper attack from Judgment, what we did get looks just as good and makes a bit more sense. Grand Cross. Simon or Richter traps the enemy in a coffin, uses his whip to throw the coffin into the air, and then unleashes their holy energy to let loose a storm of crosses to rain down divine punishment. This is a direct reference to the item crash Holy Cross from Rondo of Blood. The visuals for this final smash also look great, and the sound of Simon and Richter calling out the attack add icing to the cake. This was a great choice for the final smash for these two characters. Now maybe we'll get a new Castlevania game sometime in the future, huh?
Surely someone at Konami must realize there's money to be made here.
The next final smash on our list isn't quite as big a reference as the others on this list, but it makes up for it in the Flash department. And it comes from the Pokemon that a bunch of people thought was Mewtwo when its trailer first dropped. I'll admit I was one of those people. Greninja was a fan favorite from Gen 6, and its ninja motif made this water dark type a natural fit for Smash. And while several of the Shadow Frog's moves are direct references to its moveset from its series of origin, its final smash, Secret Ninja Attack, goes one step further. Initiated by its formerly signature move Mat Block, Greninja launches the opponent into the air and lays into them with a flurry of slashes amid the backdrop of a full moon, finishing with a final downward blow that launches the opponent. Ultimate takes the visuals further by transforming Greninja into its now famous Ash Greninja form. This move is powerful, visually appealing, and well befitting a shinobi, at least how they're romanticized in modern media. But is it just me, or does this attack seem a little familiar? There's just something about it that I can't quite place.
Oh, well, I'm sure I'll think of it sooner or later. I mean, I have all day.
Fire Emblem Awakening was a massive success for a franchise that, up until then, had been niche at best. Heck, the game was so successful that it practically saved the franchise from going under, at the cost of being divisive among the elites. So seeing a character from this game in Smash 4 was unsurprising. What was surprising was that we got two. Robin was a very different character than previous reps from Fire Emblem at the time, not only employing swords, but also his various tomes, which you had to manage given weapon durability. Of course, his final smash was always going to be flashy. One of Awakening's signature mechanics was the pair-up system, which allowed two units to combine their strengths to buff each other significantly, and allowed shippers to go nuts with fanfics. Since Lucina was always going to be a clone of Marth, it only made sense to give the pair up to Robin, with Chrom being his or her partner. And it's well worth it, seeing the flashy-as-hell barrage of spells and sword strikes that ravage the opponent. Some people have likened this to a flashier version of Ike's Great Aether, and I can see the resemblance. But more than that, the move really shows how effective the mechanic was in Awakening, and how well it was applied to Smash. And now that Chrom is an echo of Roy, and with the return of the Chrom Mii Fighter costume, you'll be able to beat up fake Chrom as Chrom, only for both of you to get wailed on by Chrom and Robin.
Everything is Chrom in the future!
Smash 4 gave us plenty of new characters. Some were hype, some were quirky, several were unexpected, some were leaked, but of all the new characters we got, there was one that pretty much nobody expected. Cloud's reveal came completely out of nowhere and blew minds everywhere. And from the moment that splash spread across the screen, two things were immediately apparent. The first was that another barrier to entry into Nintendo's All-Star Slugfest had fallen. And the second was exactly what Cloud's final smash would be. Seriously, why would it not be Omni Slash? It was awesome in Final Fantasy VII, it was awesome in Dissidia, and of course it's every bit as awesome in Smash. From the moment Cloud launches his opponent into the air, you're greeted with a flurry of slashes from every direction, culminating with a devastating final blow that ground bounces the opponent and sends them flying. It does bear some resemblance to Greninja or Ike's final smash, but I'm giving an edge to this one because I find it more aesthetically exciting, with the visual effects that accompany every blow. It even shows the attack name at the top of the screen to complete the reference to Cloud's legendary Limit Break. How else would a former first-class soldier finish a fight? Bonus points for the trailer paying tribute to how Cloud delivered the final blow to Sephiroth in that interactive cutscene. The big Smash Bros. Ultimate expose at E3 this past year revealed so much, but one of the interesting things they revealed is how they decided to handle clone characters. Oh, I'm sorry, Echo Fighters. This approach opened the door for some highly requested characters, and arguably the most requested of all is still an assist trophy. Well, at least Ken still got in, and he was one of the original clone characters. And like his friend and rival, Mr. Masters has two final smashes depending on his position. And while Shinryuken is fiery and flashy, I'm giving this spot to Shippu Jinrai Kyaku. After posing as if we were parrying, Ken busts into a series of powerful roundhouse kicks, transitioning into a souped-up Tatsumaki to send the enemy flying. This is straight from one of Ken's trademark super moves, which was introduced in Street Fighter III. If it looks familiar to any of you, well, it's probably because this is the finishing touch on Evo Moment 37, which is also referenced in the opening of the move. Aside from bringing back memories of FGC hype, it's fast, furious, and flashy. And it looks a lot better than the enhanced version of the move in Street Fighter V.
I'm not even sorry.
Pokemon Trainer was an interesting addition to Brawl. While transforming characters weren't exactly new to Smash Bros. Even at the time, I mean Zelda and Sheik were originally one character, this was a 3-in-1 deal. And by 3, of course, I mean the Kanto starters in various stages of evolution. It was a neat idea, and Ultimate improved the gameplay when they brought the character back. As for their final smash, well, we couldn't devise a different final smash for each of the 3 Pokemon, right? Well, technically they might have been able to, but that might have been awkward. So instead, we got something that's a lot flashier. Triple Finish is a blast. The trainer calls out all 3 of their Pokemon, and they unleash their strongest moves. Charizard uses Fire Blast to burn the opponent, Squirtle soaks the enemy with a deluge of Hydro Pump, and Ivysaur blasts the enemy with Solar Beam. The attack is flashy as hell, visually appealing, and does a great job of displaying the power of the 3 Pokemon. Bonus points for the dialogue window at the bottom. When it damages the opponent, the text even changes to say, "It's super effective!" And boy is it ever effective in lighting up a match. And this was from the time before triple battles were even canon.
Maybe this is where they got the idea? Or maybe not, I don't know.
When it comes to final smashes, King DDD has had the short end of the hammer for the longest time. When he debuted in Brawl, he got stuck with
My big gay dad!
and while it was a meme for a while, it was terrible as a final smash, if not a little funny. Smash 4 took it the opposite direction. While that final smash was probably more reliable in the damage department, it was boring. So they changed it again for Ultimate, making him one of the few characters to have 3 different final smashes. And let's just say, they finally got it right this time. DDD initiates the move with a single strike with his hammer, but upon contact, the enemy is thrown into a caged wrestling ring, whereupon they're assailed with a barrage of missiles coming from Master DDD's modified Jet Hammer. Master DDD then ignites said Jet Hammer and spins into the enemy with a massive smash that sends the opponent flying. Given that Masked DDD made his debut in Kirby Superstar Ultra in 2008, it's about time they gave the King of Final Smash and took advantage of this. True, they couldn't have exactly done this in Brawl since it was introduced earlier that same year, but they could have done this in Smash 4. But I'm glad they finally put this into practice, especially since it looks good and lets DDD be as wild as he wants to be. Clobbering dem dare enemies, no monster necessary. That has gotta hurt! Every new Smash game brought a new Pokemon with it, as I've brought up before. But with the Pokemon Trainer returning and the release date of Ultimate drawing ever closer, I was wondering if we'd even get a new Pokemon this time. But the final character trailer gave us our Sun and Moon rep. And while I would have thought Decidueye would get the nod, Incineroar was my second choice, and makes a lot of sense. It's about time we got a bona fide grappler on the game. As for its final smash, well, it's exactly what I expected. And that's a good thing. You know Incineroar's exclusive Z move? Malicious Moonsault? This one takes the flash of that move and amps it to the max. After initiating the move, the combatants are transported into a wrestling ring, where Incineroar throws the opponent into the turnbuckle, then proceeds to launch them into the air with a series of punishing blows until dropping headfirst onto them as they crash into the ring with a massive explosion, complete with the bell ring and a cheering crowd. This move not only has visual appeal and is a perfect reference to the character, but it also scores massive points for fitting Incineroar's showman-like personality to a T. Incineroar loves to show off, and this final smash is the perfect way to do so. There's just one thing that bugs me. We see the Z powered before the move, but who has the Z crystal?
Whoops, there I go again, trying to over-logic things.
Okay, let's get to some honorable mentions before we move on. Bayonetta's Infernal Climax, the updated Star Fox Final Smash, Ike's Great Aether, Pikachu and Pichu's Volt Tackle, and finally, Supersonic. You know me? Because if you know me well enough, you would have known that number 1 was locked down from the word GO! Smash Bros. Has always been, among other things, a melting pot of fan service. We've seen a ton of love connected to pretty much everyone. Okay, so Cloud got the short end of the stick, blame Square Enix. On the other side of the spectrum is our favorite Blue Bomber. Mega Man was not sold short by any means whatsoever. In fact, in terms of third-party characters, he got some of the best treatment. The music, the stage, the moveset, the animations, every little detail draws from Mega Man's rich history. And I'm not ashamed to admit, From the first time I saw his final smash, I was grinning from ear to ear.
Super Fighting Robot! Mega Man! Fighting to save the world!
They weren't kidding when they called this Mega Legends. They could have just had Mega Man unleash a flurry of his most iconic weapons, or heck, pulled one of his hyper combos from Marvel vs. Capcom. But why settle for what other games have already done when you can crank the love to 11? How about we start with a black hole bomb and transition into 5 generations of Mega Man laying into the enemy with a massive Technicolor firestorm? Classic, X, even Legends, Battle Network, and freaking Star Force. They give a crap about Star Force! You know I love Mega Man, but this move takes my top spot for the amount of love it shows for the hero, and just how awesome it looks. I couldn't think of a better way for the Super Fighting Robot to bring down the house. Oh my god, they added Proto Man and Basin Ultimate!
I'm the quarter guy, and I'm absolutely loving Smash Ultimate. But there's still one thing I want out of all this. And no, it's not for certain characters to fill the remaining 4 DLC slots. I mean, I'm expecting plenty of surprises after Joker's reveal. No, what I want is for Nintendo to let Sakurai have a long vacation once this is all over.
Okay, time to think about some New Year's resolutions. Improve my look? Well, new hat's gonna help with that. Lose some weight? Yeah, that's gonna take some effort. Continue to improve my production value? Well, that's a constant process. Find a way to beat the algorithm? Oh god, I can't even say that with a straight face. Next time, Top 10 Opening Levels 2019 edition. It's game time!